Welcome to Wickham's Corner. We find ourselves in Meryton, Longbourn, the countryside, where a few eligible bachelors have just moved into town. Mr. Charles Bingley and Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy. How will the ladies respond? How will the men respond? How will I respond? Find out on this week's episode of Wickham's Corner.
Hello, my name is Cassandra, and I'm very happy to hear that Darcy and Bingley are coming to the neighbourhood, because my dear sister refuses to write love stories, and I'm so thrilled that she's finally cracking back open this one. I think there's a real opportunity for one of the girls to have a love story happen with Darcy. I'm not really sure if he is an eligible match, other than the fact that he has money, because he's so disagreeable. But we'll see if she can make some edits. It might be better.
Hello. I just look in the background bit.
Yeah.
All right. Good evening. I am Mary Bennett, and am I doing this right? I feel that the recent occupation of the house near ours, approximately 3 miles, well, 3.1, what he was counting, by Mr. Bingley is appropriate. Perhaps shall lead to further social connections which shall benefit the family. And Mr. Darcy appears, well, I don't mean to be harsh, but he's been a little unpleasant, so Mr. Bingley seems nice.
Hello, my name is Charles Bingley, and I would like to say that I'm very excited to be spending my time in Netherfield. I've born and raised in London, so I haven't had much time to be active in the woodland sports. Walking, mud pie flinging. Not mud pie flinging, but, things of that sort, nature-y things. I'm hoping to host a ball, but I don't know when Caroline would allow me to do that, but we'll see. And Darcy's pretty much pessimistic about the whole idea, but again, we'll see.
I'm Caroline Bingley. Netherfield is beautiful. I love my brother, and Mr. Darcy is wonderful company. Our only neighbours are the Bennets. That's how I feel about Netherfield.
Hello, my name is Jane Bennett, and I have to say I am pleasantly surprised by the gentlemanly young men that have moved into Netherfield. It has been vacant for quite some time. I did peep a glance at them, and Mr. Bingley is a very handsome man.
Are you attracted to Mr. Bingley?
No. He does have a very charming smile. He's very kind. He speaks very sweetly. I feel like he has a good heart.
Hello, my name is Lydia Bennett. Am I excited for Mr. Darcy and Mr. Bingley to move into the town? Why, of course I am. It just means that they're going to marry me. One of them is going to marry me, obviously. They might look at my sisters, but here's the reason that they should pick me. I'm very delightful. I'm very popular at all the parties. I'm the most fashionable, obviously. I have millions of ribbons at home, really, so that makes me a very good catch. But the number one reason is that I just can't resist.
Well, here we are. It's a wonderful setup you've got. I like the props. This is a strange addition. I'd like to take this little man with me on an adventure. Would you like to see some of the great houses of the north? Yes, I would. That sounds fantastic. Reminds me of my wife. She's a little Furby. I put her in my pocket and give her some rubs. She'll do anything for a cashew, you know what I mean.
I'm Mrs. Gardner.
And how are you related to the family?
Oh yes, I'm Lizzie's aunt. Well, I guess I'm all their aunts, aren't I? I like Lizzie the best.
Dear, you do pray favourites.
I do, yes. I like Elizabeth, and then I like Kitty. Then I like Lydia, and then I like Jane.
Who do you like least of all, if you had to say in confidence?
Mrs. Bennet.
I'm Angus McCracken. I'm on loan from the Scottish Guard. As for the Bingley and the Darcy, I don't much know them myself, and all I really have to go on is what that man Wickham said, which is not particularly kind.
Hello, I'm Fitzwilliam Darcy. Netherfield is a country neighbourhood with little beauty and no fashion, although there are some quite attractive women. Worth consideration.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Bennet. Mr. Bingley and Mr. Darcy just moved to our town, and while I like Mr. Bingley and I think he's a nice man, I don't much care for Mr. Darcy. I could do without him, to be honest. I think he's proud and a regular jerk.
Well, I would like to say that what I think about Mr. Darcy, he was very, very rude. He was very rude about my Lizzie. My Lizzie is not tolerable and certainly not plain. I don't think I like him.
Mr. Bingley has moved into our neighbourhood, our region. The gentleman is always appreciative of another gentleman living nearby. And of course, he being single, and me having 5 single daughters, it could be a good thing. I am Mr. Bennet, and I have a lovely small estate, Longbourn House, and I have a wife and 5 lovely daughters. But the madness that goes on in my house requires me to retire to my library quite often. It is the single place in my abode where peace dwells.
My name is Mr. Collins. I don't know my first name. Lanford? Bartholomew? Pete? All of these are options. I like textures, fabrics, smooth, rough, silky. The smell of a woman in the breeze in the springtime, the feel of a ribbon on your cheek. These are a few of my favorite things. I like lots of things.
So, Mr. Collins, do tell how you feel about Mr. Darcy joining the neighbourhood.
He's tall. The first thing I noticed was I think he's got some kind of disorder. He keeps growing. And that's disconcerting. Humans should reach their limit and then be capped. He seems to not stop growing, and I fear his bones will not survive. The longevity is the thing in question. If I were a woman thinking about getting together with such a man, I would fear him outgrowing my bed.